Rain pattered against the tin roof of the training hall, a steady percussion that mirrored the pounding in Emily Grant's chest. The air smelled faintly of salt from the nearby ocean, mixing with the sharp tang of sweat and oil from the mats. Around her, the Navy SEAL candidates moved like a pack of wolves, shoulders broad, eyes sharp, laughter edged with challenge. She stood at the center, small by comparison, the only woman in the room, and from the way they looked at her, you'd think she was prey. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The instructor, Chief Petty Officer Dane Rourke, stepped forward. His presence filled the space like a storm cloud, the kind that swallows the sun whole. "Grant," he said, his voice low and certain, "you're up." The murmurs began instantly. A few smirks, a chuckle from the back. Emily felt each one, slice at her resolve. She could almost hear their thoughts. She's too slow, too soft. This will be over in seconds. But they didn't know her history. They didn't know about the months of recovery after her brother's death overseas, or how she'd trained in silence, carrying his old dog tags like a promise she refused to break. Rourke tossed her a rubber training knife. "Your job is to take me down," he said, pacing in a slow circle around her. "My job is to stop you. Any questions?" Her heart hammered, but her voice was steady. "Just one. How hard am I allowed to hit?" The room erupted in laughter. Even Rourke's mouth twitched in a smirk. But that flicker of doubt in his eyes, she caught it. They began. Rourke moved first, lunging like a predator. Emily stepped aside, feeling the rush of air as his arms swept past. She caught the smell of leather from his training gloves, the grit of the mat under her boots. Every muscle in her body screamed for her to fight, but she waited, measured, like her brother had taught her. "Too slow, Grant," Rourke growled, pressing forward. She let him. Let him think she was backing down. Let the room believe their own doubts. Then, when his guard dropped for the briefest breath, she pivoted. One step in, twist of the wrist, knife gone. Her free hand struck his shoulder, driving him down. The sound of his body hitting the mat echoed through the hall. Silence followed. She thought she'd never see respect in their eyes. She was wrong. The SEAL candidates shifted, their earlier smirks fading into something heavier, something sharper. Even the wind outside seemed to pause, the rain slowing its rhythm against the roof. Rourke rose slowly, rubbing his wrist wear. She'd disarmed him. "Again," he said, his voice like gravel. But now there was no mockery in it. They went for another round. This time he was faster, angrier, but Emily matched him, step for step, strike for strike. Every motion felt like a thread connecting her to her brother's memory. Every block, every counter, a tribute to the one who had believed in her when no one else did. The final move came quick. A feint, a sidestep, and her knee caught his leg just enough to shift his balance. Knife gone again. This time, she held it out in front of him, steady, unwavering, around them. The room exhaled as if they'd been holding their breath. Someone muttered, "Damn." Another whispered, "She's legit." Emily didn't smile. She just handed the knife back. Her eyes locked on Rourke's. He took it without a word, then nodded once, sharp, decisive. "Welcome to the fight, Grant." The respect wasn't given. It was earned, one move at a time. And in that quiet moment, with the rain tapping gently overhead, Emily realized something she'd never forget. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just the steady heartbeat that refuses to quit, even when the whole world is watching. Because courage isn't about who's stronger, it's about who refuses to stand down. And as she stepped off the mat, the room parting for her now, she knew her brother would have been proud. The rain outside fell harder, like applause only she could hear. If you enjoyed this story, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just be the one you didn't know you needed to hear.